Jack Nolan back at the Culver Academies with Irish head coach Brian Kelly. Day 5 in the books, the first day of full pads. Did you see what you wanted to see?
Oh yeah, I think, the first time that we got together early in practice, 11 on 11, our defense was presented with Josh Adams, for the first time in a live tackle situation, and that's a bit daunting for our back end of defense. I think they adjusted well, and later in practice, I thought they played very well. Started to come up in tackling. So when you add tackling to the mix, there is a bit of an adjustment. I thought our defense did a great job adjusting to tackling, live tackling, when we got back together. The other thing that stood out to me was the line play. I think our defensive line play, at times, maybe got knocked off in the spring. I thought that they did a great job of using their hands today. Our offensive line is a very good unit and a very good group, so there was real good line play today. I was impressed with that. So physical line play, the backs are running hard. I thought our defensive backfield adjusted well after they saw live tackling for the first day. So for all in all, as a head coach, good physical play. Certainly we're 5 days into it. We're still in installation from an offensive standpoint, so there's a lot there that needs to be corrected. But all in all, a pretty good first 5 days.
This team's always scored under your direction, and you have so much potential on offense, and we saw a lot of that today. There were some really big plays.
Yeah, and we've got some nice new weapons as well. Alizé didn't play much today with a tightness in the hamstring, but Alizé Jones and having Brandon Woodbush, Tony Jones is a big physical back that can run and catch. There's 3 guys. Add Cam Smith with great speed and Freddie Canteen. There's 5 new players on the offensive side of the ball that are going to be able to impact an offense that returns a lot of good players as well. So I think there's plenty of there. It's going to take some time. We're not ready yet, but I think if we continue to pay attention to the detail and the little things on offense, I think we're good. Defensively, I thought we were a little out of sorts once we tackled early on, and then we settled in nicely and really strung together a couple of nice 3-and-outs, and that's always good to see.
Your message this week, very consistent, both privately and in public. You talked about Monday in your press conference that last year you emphasized production over process. It won't happen again. You told your team in the huddle, and then you told the media, you're not just going to reward talent. It's going to take more than talent to get on the field for this team this fall.
Yeah, and I told our guys, listen, I'm not going to say anything to you now that I'm not going to say to the media. So I'm going to tell you the same thing I'm going to tell them. We're not going to reward talent. Now, certainly talented players are what we recruit here, but you have to have the traits of excellence, and you have to have that attention to the detail and that focus and that grit and all those things that we didn't have and lack, and the things that I didn't bring out of you, we're going to bring out of you. I'm going to bring it out of you. So understand, if you're not getting the playing time you need right now, it's not because you don't have the talent, it's because you lack some of those traits, so keep working on them.
Going to be off tomorrow, Sunday, and really that's mandated by the NCAA, but for you it fits perfectly because I know you want to be at the services for Ara Parseghian, and that's where you'll be.
Well, I mean, to celebrate the life of an icon, and not only from a football perspective, a university perspective, but a man who made such an impact on fighting a disease for so many people, and including his family. It's just an honor to be part of that. So I'll get an opportunity to be part of that service tomorrow. And I know so many people that love Coach Parseghian and that were coached by Coach Parseghian will get a chance to celebrate that as well.
Your coaches will be looking at this week's film, getting ready for next week. You made progress this week. What is at the top of the list of the things you need to do next week?
Well, I think the quarterback development, he's got a lot on his plate right now with just installation. We're throwing a lot of concepts, a lot of fronts, a lot of looks. I think just settling him down into getting some of his reads, getting some of the progressions down. So fine-tuning the quarterback position, and then finding a rotation with the wide receivers. Those are probably the 2 things on offense. Defensively, continue to work at the back end of our defense in tackling, and really when the lights go on, sticking with their technique. If they do that, I think I'm really pleased with where we're heading with the front 7.
Coach, thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
With Irish head coach Brian Kelly, Jack Nolan reminding you once again that all of our training camp reports are brought to you by our friends at St. Joseph Health System.